All right, guys, we are here again to bring to you special tips. Yeah, remember I promised you some time ago that every secret in this real estate business, yeah, I'll be bringing it to your doorstep. I'm not going to withhold any information that will help you to make great money, big money, great return on your investment in this real estate business. That is why we are here. Remember I told you I also made that promise and I will keep to it. Yeah. So today I will be showing you some tips on how you can make great return through renovation method. Yes. So, I said some time ago too that knowledge is power, but I tell you the application of that same knowledge is key, and that is what I want to hand over to you now. The key on how to make good money through renovation method. Some of us have properties that has been there for like over a decade, some 15 years and more. And the rental value of that property has begun to depreciate because of the nature of that property. Yes. These days now, this is 2024, and sometimes when some people want to rent apartment, they want to check out for some certain unique features in that apartment. That is usually what determines the value of that property. Don't forget, before people go into renting or leasing of a property, they want to look at the features, the benefits they need to enjoy using such kind of facility. And when your property is one of those what we can consider as the dilapidated property, or property that that have stayed over time and is no longer up to date when it comes to architectural designs and styles, some of those property may depreciate in value when it comes to rental income. For instance, in your neighborhood, you can attest to this, that some property that will be renting for, maybe like for example, maybe a block of flats going for 2 million naira per annum. And some other flat in that same neighborhood will be going for 1 point something million naira per annum. While some other one may be going for 5 million naira per annum. Have you asked yourself what is the difference between property A and B and C? Trust me, the difference is the feature, the difference is the style, the difference is the beauty, the difference is the look. So this time around, I want to give you some of these tips so that you don't go continue to lose money. Some people, they will choose the option of trying to maybe engage developers to come renovate their properties, and it takes them maybe 2, 3, 4, 5 to 7 years for them to hand over that same property to the original owner after they have recoup their money which they invested into such property. But I want to give you these tips today so that you too will become like that developer. You too will become like the original developer. That is, remember you build that house and there's a purpose. You build that house so they can get return. That house should be like your retirement plan. That house should be like what will begin to sustain you when you have lived or when you have left active service. So now this is the tips. Do you know that all you need to make your house to appreciate in value? I mean, for some of us that have property for rental purposes, one of the things you need to do to make such property to give you or to appreciate in value when it comes to rental purposes, first of all, remember, is tips. One of the things you need to do, look for a good architectural person, an architect, somebody that have strong creative sense when it comes to architectural drawing. Now, what are they going to do? Are they going to be redesigning a brand new house for you? No. What they're going to be doing for you is to sit down with you and look at how they can change the face of that particular property. Don't forget, this used to be an old property before. Maybe the property you are renting it for 1 point something million naira per annum, but this time around, why are you renting it? Because of the look, because of the features in that property. It used to have the kind of, old kind of zinc, old kind of doors, old kind of windows and all of that. Old kind of everything in that house is all old model, at least outdated. But this time around, you can rebrand that house. You can kind of renovate that house and it will now look like a brand new building. And you will now begin to enjoy big money as though you just built that house in 2024, or depending the duration or the period. Now, when you get that architect, just to redesign the front look of that property, if there are places maybe Like for instance, the property may have maybe just a kind of a flat kind of look, but this time around, you want to create a kind of a design in the front. I hope this is making sense. You kind of create a kind of a unique design in the front of that building. Do you understand? A kind of design that can be attached to the original building, not like redesigning a fresh structure entirely, but a kind of design that can be attached to the existing building. And after everything, it will not be noticed. Do you understand? And it will not affect or become a threat to the existing structure that you have. So when you have that kind of beautiful designs, another thing you need to look at is to see how you can change those windows. If they're kind of old kind of design of windows, try to change them to modern windows. Some places, Alumaco may be the best. In some other locations, you may have to look at some kind of modern windows that can suit the test of time. Modern windows that in the next 5-10 years, it will still be up to date. Just change that kind of windows to those kind of windows and change the doors. You know, some of our houses in some of those locations, you can see the ceilings in those houses will be those kind of old methods, old designs of ceilings. You may need to consider doing maybe like using a POP ceiling. I don't know if I'm making sense. You may need to redesign, change that kind of ceiling to a modern kind of ceiling if you cannot do POP. If you can afford to do a POP, beautiful. Trust me, these days, if you see apartments with POP, with good lighting system in the apartment, is top-notch, it's so beautiful. And when you have that kind of system in your house, any amount you tell the tenant, you will pay. People like good things. Nigerians like good things. So you need to understand the business. The reason why you're losing money is because that your building is still looking old. That your building is still looking like 1970-something structure. That your building is still looking like a building that was used in the ancient days. You need to rebrand, you need to kind of restructure and renovate that building to look like 2024 designs. And trust me, to achieve these things are not too expensive. These are things you can do by yourself. You don't even need to engage a developer to help you to renovate your house and take ownership of the house maybe for the next 5-7 years. It's something you can gradually do by yourself. Just give yourself a short period of time. Before you know what's happening, you have completed that project. It won't cost you much. You don't need to break the bank to achieve it. So change the design of that ceiling. If you can do modern ceiling, awesome. If you can also do POP, if you have the fund to do POP, beautiful. Then the next thing you need to put into consideration is the painting of your building. You don't need to go back to those ancient days where they used test codes to paint room, use test code to paint the living room, to paint the bedroom, and all of this is an old method, old model, old designs. If you have what it takes, do a POP, use this kind of beautiful paint. They call satin, the gloss, different kind of nice paints you can use to paint that house, and it will look so beautiful. So these are things you need to put into consideration when you have achieved changing the face of the building, change the windows and the doors of that same building. If there's a need for you to change the roofing sheet, change the zincs you use for that building, it's necessary depending the kind of building it is. If the one that have maybe is decking and there is what is it called? It's a story building and there is a decking up there, you don't need to. But if it's the kind of maybe a bungalow that you use zinc to roof the building, then the zinc is old, then you need to consider changing the entire zincs. Change the zinc, change the ceiling, change the doors, change the windows, change the face, give it a new facelift. Then at the same time, if the place is like a terrazzo, you need to change it to tiles, beautiful tiles. That are also cheap tiles. You can change them to, you can buy. They're not too expensive. These are things that will help you. Anybody that comes into that apartment will pay any amount you are calling. So these are different ways you can renovate your apartment and you make great return on that same investment through rental income by renovation. Trust me, like I told you, I remain your #1 real estate coach. I'll be teaching you, I'll be putting through on different aspects of this business that you continue to make money, continue to cash out every day, and you become developer of your own self. Thank you so much as you continue to stay tuned with us.